Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another process video. Today I'm really excited to share something a little bit different with you. If you have visited my channel before, then you know that I've put together some process videos for my Project Life album. But today I wanted to share a look at the process behind me putting together a spread in my traveler's notebook. So this is a project that I've been working on for the month of November. It's a 30-day gratitude project. And the idea behind this is to just take something that I am grateful for every day and take a photo or use a photo that I already have, do some journaling, and just focus on something every day and get it into my notebook and be able to kind of look back on it for years to come. So the first page that I'm working on here, I'm going to be using that photo of the In-N-Out cheeseburgers. And while I'm very grateful for In-N-Out cheeseburgers and delicious French fries, that's actually not what this page is about. There was a time this year when my husband was getting home between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning from work, and on the weekends he would call me up to see if I was still awake, and if I was, he would occasionally pick up some In-N-Out burger or just something really quick and bring it home, and we would just kind of talk about our days and just have a little midnight date night. So I was just very grateful for that time that we had together and wanted to include that here in my album. So I had masked off the areas on my page that I didn't want to ink up, and I just used some post-it notes there to do that. And then I used the hashtag delicious stamp. This is from the Clearly Kelly Food Coma stamp set, and I just stamped that diagonally in that little section just to kind of add a bit of a pattern background behind my photo. If you don't want to have kind of pattern papers that make your album a little bit bulky, this is definitely kind of a fun technique to use because you get that pattern without, any bulkiness. And it's also just a really great way to kind of use your stamps, and you can change up the colors and make it work with your photo. And so that was really fun. This was actually my first time doing this in my notebook, but I definitely plan to use that technique on other pages as well. And so one of the consistent elements that I used in my notebook was to use the same alphabet stamp set to stamp my title. So I'm using the Kelly Purkey Southport alphabet stamp set. And I'll go ahead and link my Instagram in the info box below so you can see the other pages in my notebook. I've been sharing every page this month, and that might give you a better idea of kind of how this page fits in with the rest of my book. But this title has just been the consistent element, and I've also been using the I Am Thankful For stamp from the Just Thankful stamp set by Ali Edwards. And so those two elements combined have just kind of been my consistent part of this notebook throughout, since I've been changing up pretty much everything else throughout this album, just kind of experimenting with lots of different stamping and embellishing and just kind of having fun with it. So I'm adhering that photo right into the middle of that stamp section. I added a yellow post-it note to the bottom there just so it kind of balanced out the yellow post-it note that I had added at the top. And then I stamped Let's Eat. That's from the same Food Coma stamp set by Kelly Purkey. One thing I would mention about working with notebooks is it can get a little bit messy if you're doing a lot of stamping, especially for me since I tend to not clean my stamps. It can get very messy very fast. So I would recommend just keeping a baby wipe close by, or like a wet paper towel, or just something that you can wipe your hands on to clean it off, in between your stamping, just to kind of keep things a little bit cleaner. I've made a lot of mistakes in my album, and I've smudged a lot of things and kind of had to fix it by embellishing over it so I didn't have to redo the entire page. But doing something like that just kind of helps prevent those mistakes. So for this second page, I just added a little bit of pattern paper that's from the Felicity Jane Emmeline collection. And the pattern paper itself actually extends beyond the page in my notebook, which I actually really like. I kind of figure that I can cut that off in the future if I end up not liking it. But right now I actually like that it sticks out beyond the page, because when it's closed it just kind of adds a little bit of interest, makes you want to open up the notebook. So for now I'm just going to keep that how it is, and I'm liking it. And then I added in that little tab sticker from the same Felicity Jane Emmeline collection. And I'm just adding on some washi tape, just kind of building my layers to add a little bit of interest to where my photo is going to sit. Kind of playing around with different embellishments. Most of the time I decide to just keep things pretty simple, and these pages are very small, so simple is usually a good thing. So I stamped "I am thankful for" onto just a piece of white cardstock, and then I am making that into a fishtail banner there. And again, I'm going to use that same stamp set to stamp out. I thought I was going to stamp Kitty Snuggles, but then I decided to keep this specific to my sister's cat, Rosie. For anyone that has watched my Project Life videos, you probably know that we have a dog, our little puppy Nugget, and he definitely has his own page in my gratitude notebook. But I also love my sister's cat, Rosie, and she gives the best kitty snuggles, so I wanted to also include her in my gratitude notebook, and she kind of gets featured on today's page, so that was really fun to have her cute little face there. So I'm spelling out Rosie Snuggles here. And then I added on some Amy Tangerine rub-ons. It's been a lot of fun using rub-ons in my notebook. I don't usually grab for my rub-ons, so it's been nice getting these out of my stash and using them up. They've been really great for just embellishing the pages, and of course they don't add any bulk because they're, they're stickers, and so they're very thin, but it's just added some color and just a little bit of contrast to everything that I have going on. But I can still kind of keep everything simple on the page just by adding just a few things. So I used some flowers here and some hearts and that cute little bow at the top. And so I should also mention that the notebook that I'm using here is the number 12 Midori Traveler's Notebook. I bought mine off of Amazon, and what I really like about this notebook is that the pages are actually really thick. It's almost like a cardstock thickness for each page, so that's been great in reducing the bleed through from the stamps. I was actually able to watercolor on one of the pages, and there really wasn't a lot of bleed through on the other page, so that's really nice in a project that you're kind of doing a lot of stamping. And if you don't want to have to worry about that, then, and you're not really concerned about your album being really thick, then this would be a really great traveler's notebook to use. So that completes this spread, and I hope that you enjoyed this process video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are working on a 30-day gratitude notebook for this month, I would love for you to share a link so I can check out your project. And thank you again, and I will see you in my next video.